1838 shifted his capital from Agra to Delhi, and he laid the foundation of Shah Jahanabad. Shah Jahanabad was his city, and Red Fort was the fort that he built inside his city. In 1639, he started the construction of Red Fort. It took about 9 years. And there were two major architects who were involved in it, Ustad Hamid and Ahmed. They were the two main responsible for construction. And Red Fort is spread over in perimeter.
They were architects.
They were the main architects, Ustad Hamid and Ahmed. And Red Fort is spread over a perimeter of 2.41 kilometers and all around. That is the thing. What you will notice is the height of the walls is different on this side than what it is on the river front. It is built, actually the Yamuna used to flow right where the ring road is now. So that's where Shah Jahan had planned his fort. It was right on the banks of the Yamuna. And this side, there was the town. This entire area, Chandni Chowk that we see today, all of this was part of this town, the Shah Jahanabad city. Now this gate that we have crossed, which is crossed, that is known as the Delhi gate. That is the gate of the fort, and it faces Delhi. Delhi is the side, place that you can come in through all that IIT area and all this area that you just crossed. That is Delhi. So this is known as the Delhi gate. But this is not used as the entrance today. The entrance is the Lahore gate. The entrance from there, that is on the other side. And both gates are built in a similar fashion. There were other gates, but now none of them apart from these two. This is usually where the Prime Minister enters from when the Independence Day functions are happening. And that is the gate which is for normal public entry. Both gates are similar. You will see they are in 3 levels. And they have almost towers like this, exactly shaped as such. Now you see this.
So that gate is called what?
Lahore.
We will enter from Lahore.
We enter from Lahore. That is the entry gate today. That's the main entrance. This is not useful.
Both are identical in their appearance.
Yeah. Now what we see on top, you know, this kind of scalloped edge that you see, that is known as kangura. And in forts, and also beneath that you see these slits for arrows. Now in forts what happens is a fort is supposed to be guarded by soldiers who are all inside. And normally you will see forts are, that's why at a height. You know, even today you can see that this wall is much higher. So which is why the wall here has these slits and is higher. And the soldiers would be sitting behind that and getting their aim on, you know, other soldiers who were coming to attack them, if there was a possibility of an attack. So that is how all forts were planned. So these are some common things which you will notice in most forts. They have higher walls, they are at a height, and they have these slits for arrows and guns later on to come through. And they have gates which are imposing. Most forts have that. Most forts in Mughal times were planned with certain, buildings which are almost common. One was, of course, the gate. One was then you had a Naubat Khana or a Nakar Khana where the drums were stored and where the imperial band played about 5-6 times a day. It played there. So that will be an integral part of any Mughal fort that you will see. And that is also known as the Hathi Pole, because that is the place where the people who were coming on elephants to meet the ruler would get down. They would get down from there, and from there on they would walk, whoever was coming to meet the ruler. So that's known as Hathi Pole. Then when you enter, there will be one Diwan-e-Aam, which is the hall of public audience. Then there will be a Diwan-e-Khas, which is the hall of private audience. Obviously, Khas means special, so not everybody was allowed in there. It was a special hall. And then in the Red Fort especially, there are a lot of palaces. Now, unfortunately, after the 1857 uprising, the British occupied the Red Fort. And because they had their